Tom Davis, Rick Dempsey, and Tippy Martinez, number 23. Tippy, we were with Doug DeCinces a little while earlier today, and I know you're out here to sign some autographs at the suites, but Orioles Magic, the birthday was just this week in 1979. Your memories of Orioles Magic when it started with the DeCinces home run.
Well, you know, Tom, I just enjoyed as far as the Orioles Magic because you were so in contact with the fans that you always wanted to do something really good, and every player wanted to do something. So it really kind of snowballed, and every player, as far as with that, wanted to be a part of that, and it was such a great feeling. It was all of a sudden it started Orioles Magic.
Back in those days, Tippy, I think we remember somebody who you were talking about, the fans, Wild Bill Hagee. I mean, he was as big a part of it as Doug DeCinces was when he started it with that great home run against the Detroit Tigers.
And then also, too, you started with a towel.
Well,
you started the old towel in the bullpen. You had something to do. So then he got attention of Wild Bill Hagee as far as with that, and then the fans started paying attention to you. And what a great time. We had a wonderful time.
You know, let's go back a little bit and talk about the job that you had, because, you know, you came out of the minor leagues. We get traded over there from the Yankees over here. You were a starter in the minor leagues, and when you got over here, you went into the bullpen. Then you spot started. You went into long relief. You were a closer at one point right there. How tough is it to adjust to all those different jobs, and which was the easiest?
Well, you know, when we first got traded, Rick, as far as with it, I can remember as far as Earl won, he said, "Do you want to start?" And at that time, I wanted to catch the Yankees because we were so mad to being traded.
Traded away.
So I wanted to catch the Yankees, and I figured the best way for me to be out there more times than just starting. And I think I made the mistake because I didn't realize that Earl, you know, went with starters a lot longer. And sometimes you may not throw for about 4 or 5 days or maybe a week. And but making that transition from starting to relieving, it really didn't bother me as far as with that. But you know, I started in AAA. I led the league in the International League in starting, and that was really about the size of it. And most of the time in the bullpen.
You know, when you look back now, that deal that the two of you were involved with, also Scott McGregor coming to Baltimore, was in 1976. It was actually June the 15th at the trading deadline back then in 1976. 40 years ago. Does it seem like 40?
Well, I get some gray hair, you know, to prove it.
It looks like 40.
But Rick looks good with his gray hair, too. You're letting it go. I'm proud of you. You look good. Now with me, I get some, you know, black hair, you know, a few strands here and there.
I'll tell you a quick little story. When he was first traded to the Orioles, everybody wanted to know whether he spoke English. He was born in Colorado, but I mean, Tippy Martinez, and people were going around wondering whether you spoke English or not when the Orioles acquired you. I thought it was kind of a funny story.
Well, obviously I don't speak Spanish, and having the last name Martinez, and Elrod used to have a field day with me because guys would be talking in Spanish and they'd be cursing at me, and I'd still keep throwing and doing it. He says, "Tip, I can't take anymore." And I said, "Why?" He says, they're saying some bad words and they're talking about your mother. And I said, "What?" And so that's when I got really mad.
He could have had all of the Latin vote when some Latin players came to the game one day and said, "Tippy, you speak Spanish." He said, "No, I don't speak any Spanish." "Why you don't speak Spanish?"
I tell you what,
you could have got voted to the All-Star game every year.
We were in New York, and I have to tell this little story, but we were in New York, and a gal from Puerto Rico wanted to interview me. And so I said, "Sure." And so I went in the clubhouse, and she goes, she starts rattling in Spanish. And then she was over with, and she puts a mic on me, and as far as with that, and I'm supposed to speak Spanish. I'm going, I said, "No speaking Spanish." She goes, "Cut, you know.
Tippy Martinez, great relief pitcher for the Orioles out here to sign some autographs in the suites tonight here at Baltimore's Camden Yard.